Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell, best known for his invention of the telephone, was born on March 3, 1847, in Edinburgh, Scotland. Young Alexander, called Alec by his family, was a curious child who was very interested in the science of sound. He loved music and taught himself to play the piano. His father taught elocution, or how to speak clearly and correctly. When he was a teenager, his mother began to lose her hearing, and that encouraged him to learn even more about sound. At the age of 12, Alec created his first invention. His best friend's family operated a flour mill. At the time, it took a lot of work to remove the husks from the wheat, but with some paddles and brushes, Alexander Graham Bell invented a dehusking machine that made the job much simpler. In return, his friend's father gave him a small workshop to experiment with his inventions. Although he was homeschooled as a child, Alexander attended high school in Edinburgh. He didn't do very well in school and left before he finished it. Afterward, he went to live with his grandfather in London. His grandfather encouraged him and helped him gain an appreciation for learning, and soon after, Bell began teaching elocution like his father and helping deaf people learn to speak. By 1870, when Bell was 23, both of his brothers had died from a disease called tuberculosis. Alexander was sick too, and his parents were very worried that he would also die. They moved to Canada. They thought the air there was healthier than the air in London. During his time in Canada, Bell got well again, and in 1871, he moved to Boston, Massachusetts. He began spending less of his time teaching and more time inventing. He experimented with a telegraph that could send more than one message at once by using different sound frequencies, and while he was working on that, he started to believe that he could invent a way to send the human voice over wires. Bell did not have much success with his invention until 1874, when he met Thomas Watson, an electrical designer and mechanic, who helped him with his work. On March 10, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell got his telephone to work. He said, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Thomas Watson, who was in another room, heard Bell's voice and came to see. The telephone had worked. Less than 6 months later, telephone demonstrations were being given while curious people stood by, amazed to hear voices from people a few miles away come out of Bell's invention. Soon, thousands and thousands of people owned telephones. After the success of his invention, Alexander Graham Bell got married and had a family. Although he is best known for the invention of the telephone, he invented many other things throughout his life, including the metal detector, a wireless telephone that transmitted a signal with light, a device to detect icebergs, an invention to detect problems with someone's hearing, and more. In 1915, Bell made the first transcontinental phone call. While he was in New York, he talked to his old assistant Thomas Watson, who was in San Francisco, and they heard each other much more clearly than they did during the first phone call in 1876. On August 2, 1922, at the age of 75, Alexander Graham Bell died at his home in Nova Scotia, Canada. When he died, every phone in North America was turned off and silent in his honor. I hope you enjoyed learning about Alexander Graham Bell today. Goodbye till next time.
과학 이야기 더 이상 어렵게 할 필요가 없습니다. 저희 괴짜과학에서 쉽게 풀어드리겠습니다. 자, 오늘도 과학과 사람들의 원종우 대표와 대표님, 요즘에 그 미국 드라마 중에서 유행하는 게 있습니다. 혹시 알고 계십니까?
왕좌의 게임.
어떻게 바로 아세요? 맞춘
난리
것처럼.
났더라고요 요즘. 네.
왕좌의 게임. 안 그래도 요즘에 그 미국 드라마가 인기고 전 세계적으로 인기를 끌고 있는데
네.
칠왕좌, 그 칼이 잔뜩 꽂힌 왕좌를 놓고서 영주들이 내가 왕이로소이다 하면서 이렇게 대결을 펼치는 드라마인데
네.
과학계에도 그런데 이 왕좌의 게임처럼 치열한 전쟁이 있었다면서요?
네, 있었죠. 대신 여기서 싸우는 이유는
네.
왕좌가 아니고 전화입니다.
전화기?
네.
예.
전화기의 발명자라는 타이틀이죠.
아하.
전화기의 최초의 발명자가 누구냐? 그 타이틀을 놓고 정말 많은 사람들이 전쟁을 벌였습니다.
아니 그런데 지금 좀 의아한 것이 전화기 최초의 발명자 하면은 벨 아니겠습니까?
아, 그렇죠.
굉장히 유명한데요. 뭐 전화기를 발명함으로써 통신 체계의 패러다임을 바꾼 사람이다. 이렇게
네.
위인전에 나오는데요.
벨이 전화기를 발명한 건 맞고요.
네.
또 그게 오랫동안 아주 상식이었죠. 근데 그 과정을 보면 이렇습니다. 1876년에 벨이 옆방의 조수에게 최초의 전화기로 왓슨 이리 좀 와보게 나 좀 보라고 뭐 이런 말을 한 게 들렸다.
굉장히 유명하죠.
네, 굉장히 유명한 얘기가 있는데 하지만 문제는 벨이 과연 전화기를 최초로 발명한 사람이냐 하는 건데요. 실제로 벨은 전화기 특허를 내고 18년 동안 600건의 소송에 시달리게 됩니다.
예.
수많은 사람들이 내가 진짜 전화의 발명자다라고 주장을 한 거죠.
아니 지금까지는 우리가 당연히 전화기의 최초 발명자는 벨이다 이렇게 알고 있었기 때문에 조금 놀라운 사실인데요. 소송이 18년 동안 600건.
네.
아니 앞에서 우리가 얘기를 했던 미국 드라마 왕좌의 게임에서는 그 한 자리를 놓고서 여러 사람이 싸우지 않습니까? 그러면 벨은 왜 이렇게 소송과 논란에 휩싸였습니까?
굉장히 많은 정황이 있습니다.
예.
일단 벨이 특허 때문에 잠시 워싱턴에 들어섰어요. 그리고는 12일 후에 갑자기 다른 원리를 적용해서 실험에 성공합니다.
네.
그래서 12일 동안 워싱턴에서 무슨 일이 있었느냐 이런 부분이 있고요. 그다음에 비슷한 시기에 다른 경쟁자의 설계 도면이 실종이 돼요. 그래서 그 실종된 설계 도면 속의 전화기가 벨의 전화와 닮았다는 의심이 제기되는 등 상황들이 좀 있습니다.
충분히 그 반대쪽에서는 의심할 만한 정황으로 삼기에 충분한 사실들인
네.
것 같은데 그렇다면은 벨의 그 최초 발명자, 전화기 최초 발명자라는 왕좌에 도전했던 다른 경쟁자는 또 누가 있을까요?
또 대표적인 사람으로 엘리샤 그레이라는 사람이 있는데요.
네.
이분은 딱 2시간 늦게 특허를 출원해서
아이고.
그 모든 이제 영광을 놓치게 되는 그런 케이스인데
예.
1876년 2월 14일입니다. 벨이 신청서를 제출하고 2시간 후에 신청서를 다시 제출을 했고요. 벨은 사실 특허 신청할 때 설계도도 없고 모형도 없고 뭐 그런 상태였어요.
네.
그냥 이론만 있는 상태였는데 이 엘리샤는 이미 전화기를 만들어서 공개 시연을 한 적도 있었습니다. 그런데 단지 늦게 왔다는 이유로 자기가 받아들이지 않으니까 굉장히 억울했을 거고 게다가 이제 벨이 아까 워싱턴에 다녀온 후에
예.
벨이 갖고 온 이제 새로운 디자인이 엘리샤의 것과 흡사했다라는 문제까지 있어서 굉장히 억울한 사람이고 그래서 소송을 많이 제기를 했고요. 결국은 나중에 이제 벨이 어느 정도 간접적으로나마 그 특허 신청서를 이제 읽게 됐다는 그런 인정까지도 살짝 받아내긴 했습니다.
굉장히 안타까운데 근데 한두 명이 아니잖아요.
한두 명이 아닙니다.
예.
다 이런 식으로 굉장히 아까운 사람들인데요. 안토니아 무치라는 굉장히 중요한 사람입니다만은 이분은 이제 $10만 있었어도 먼저 특허 출원할 수 있었다.
아니 그게 무슨 얘기입니까?
네.
$10 너무한데요?
원래 이제 아내가
예.
류마티즘으로 거의 움직이지 못해서 아내하고 통화를 하려고 이 기계를 만들었어요 스스로. 만들었는데 이분이 또 사고를 당해서 일을 하다가 좀 누워 있게 됩니다.
네.
그 와중에 부인이 이제 그 전화기를 생활고 문제 때문에 팔아버려요. 그냥 중고상에 아무렇게나 팔아버렸습니다.
너무 급했네요.
그래서 이분이 이걸 다시 개발을 해서 이제 웨스턴 유니언 전신회사라고 당시 굉장히 큰 회사죠. 이 회사에 팔려고 상의하는 도중에 회사에서 의심스럽게도 설계도와 전화기 모델을 잃어버렸다는 연락을 받습니다. 그 다음에 다시 이제 특허를 내려면 $250가 필요한데 당시로는 큰 돈이거든요.
예.
이런 제도가 있었어요. 임시로 특허를 낸 발명가를 위해서는 발명 특허 보류 신청이라는 걸 $20만 내면은 되는데
예.
그걸 이제 정해진 기간 동안 우선권을 주는 거죠. 그거를 했는데 그 다음에 기간이 만료됐어요. $10만 있었으면 그 기간 만료된 걸 연장할 수 있었는데 그 $10가 없어서 연장을 못하는 와중에 이제 벨이 그 자리를 차지하게 됩니다.
그래서 $10 때문에 전화기 발명가가 못 됐다는 얘기인데
네네.
이거 은근히 안타까운 사연들이 많네요.
네, 다 조금씩 안타까운 사연이라 기구하죠, 굉장히.
그러니까요. 우리는 계속 1등만 기억하고 있었잖아요.
그렇습니다.
벨이라는 사람.
네.
그래도 굉장히 합리적인 근거를 가지고서 도둑 맞았다. 내가
네.
이 최초의 전화기 발명가다. 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있는데 그러면 실제로 벨이 뭐 엘리샤라든지 무치의 전화, 뭐 설계 도면 이런 아이디어를 훔쳤을까요?
설은 굉장히 많은데요.
네.
일단은 엘리샤 그레이의 도안을 접했다는 점을 인정을 했고, 그 다음에는 이제 뭐 일반적인 특허에 대한 것만 물어봤지 뭐 별거 안 봤다 이렇게 말을 바꾸기도 했고요.
네.
그 다음에 무치의 주장대로 그 전신회사가 잃어버렸다고 주장하는 그 설계도 하고 모형을 벨이 봤다는 주장도 있고, 여러 가지 말이 있지만 아주 100%로 훔쳤다라고 확인하기는 또 어중간한 그런 상황입니다.
그렇군요.
네.
어쨌든 지금까지가 우리가 알고 있었던 사실은 벨이
네.
그 최초의 전화기 발명자의 왕좌를 차지했는데 실제로 그렇습니까?
그게 바뀌었습니다, 놀랍게도.
바뀌었다고요?
네.
어허.
이게 이제 어른들은 놓치기 쉬운 부분인데요.
예.
우리는 죽을 때까지 그렇게 알고 있기 쉽잖아요.
그러니까요.
결론부터 말하자면 전화기의 최초 발명자는 안토니오 무치로 정정이 돼 있습니다.
그럼 벨은 어떻게 됩니까?
벨은 최초의 특허권자가 됐죠.
특허권자.
네. 미국 의회에서 2002년에 공식적으로 무치가 최초의 전화기 발명자라고 선언을 했고요.
예.
벨은 이제 특허권자로 전락이 됐습니다.
그래도 무치는 한을 좀 풀었겠어요.
한은 좀 뭐 돌아가셨지만
벨이라는 사람이 특허를 가장 먼저 냈기 때문에
네.
그 당시에 그렇게 인정을 받았고요. 최초의 발명가라고요.
네.
그래서 돈도 가져갔고 명예도 가져갔는데 어쨌든 최종 왕자를 차지한 사람은 무치라고 볼 수 있어요.
그러니까 과학사에 있어서
네.
역사에 있어서 우리가 잘못 알고 있는 것도 굉장히 많고 사실 어떤 지점에서 얼마나 그 사람이 정확한 시간과 장소에서 또 운을 가지고 있었냐에 따라서 이렇게 굉장히 많은 것이 바뀌기 때문에 설사 벨이 번 돈을 우리가 수거할 수는 없겠지만
네.
역사적으로는 또 이 무치라는 사람을 인정해줘야 된다. 그래서 때로는 그 두 가지가 따로 논다는 사실. 뭐 사람 살이라는 게 그런 거 아니겠습니까?
그러니까요.
Isn't this great? Here I am in New York, and there you are in St. Louis, and it's just like you're in the next room.
What was that?
I said it's just like you're in the next room.
Few inventions can claim to have changed the course of history as thoroughly as the telephone. From simple sounds beamed down a wire to holding the sum of human knowledge in our hands, the ever-evolving tech that lets us instantly chat with someone hundreds of miles away has altered the way we live, time and time again.
Here's how the telephone has changed, and how the telephone in turn has changed us.
The telephone itself was more evolution than revolution, building on the telegraph, a genius bit of gadgetry that allowed coded messages to be sent through wires as electrical impulses. Problem was, this setup could only take one message down a wire at a time.
With the popularity of the telegraph booming in the second half of the 19th century, the race was on to find something better.
Inventors tackling the problem included Edinburgh-born Alexander Graham Bell and Elisha Gray from Ohio. At first, the plan was to transmit multiple tones down one telegraph line, and in 1875, Gray patented the electric telegraph for transmitting musical tones, inadvertently becoming the father of the synthesizer. Before long, though, it became clear that transmitting human speech had even more potential. 1 year later, the telephone was close to becoming real as both inventors rushed to get their increasingly sophisticated creations enshrined in patent law.
It was Bell who got his patent in first, becoming the inventor of the telephone. Well, maybe. Frankly, just the question of who truly deserved the credit for the telephone could make your head spin. On Valentine's Day 1876, Bell's patent application was entered onto the books. Just a few hours later, Gray's paperwork hit the official record. A month later, it's Bell who successfully transmits speech, but there are allegations that Bell's transmission used a liquid transmitter suspiciously similar to Gray's, or patent examiner Zanus Wilbus claims that Bell's team slipped him $100 in exchange for a peek at Gray's work, then later claims that those claims contradicted Wilbus' earlier claims. Hundreds of legal cases ensued, while out-of-court experts continue to debate whether it was Gray or Bell, or inventors like Antonio Meucci, Johann Philipp Reis, or Charles Bourseul, all of whom were dreaming up or building voice transmission tech. You could even argue that Thomas Edison deserves the credit, as in 1877 he patented a carbon grain transmitter, which used the variable resistance of carbon under pressure to make long-distance calls practical.
Okay, so it's unclear who deserves the title of telephone inventor, but we do know who actually got it: Alexander Graham Bell. A few years after the patent war, the Bell Telephone Company, today known as AT&T, had exchanges in most major US cities.
And as the telephone caught on, new developments came thick and fast. Early phone calls involved an operator who'd manually connect you to the phone line of the person you wanted to talk to. These would eventually give way to automatic switches of the kind patented as long ago as 1891 by Allman Strowger.
As transmitter tech improved, the candlestick phone became increasingly obsolete, replaced around the late 1920s by models like this one, which crammed a transceiver and receiver into one handset. 1927 saw London and New York connected by a commercial transatlantic phone service. It was conducted via radio, but in 1955 and 56, a huge feat of engineering saw the laying of the transatlantic TAT-1, the first of many underwater telephone cables that would ultimately connect the entire globe.
By 1969, 90% of US households had a telephone, but this world-shifting tech still had one downside. Wires.
The GPO, I see.
Me? No, lady. I'm an eccentric millionaire. I get so many phone calls I have to carry the phone around with me.
Mobile telephony dates back to 1946, when it became possible to make a call from your car, so long as you had loads of money and hardly anyone else in town was trying to make a call at the same time. 1 year later, Bell Labs' Douglas H. Ring sent a memo describing something much fancier, a hexagonal cell network that could make countrywide car phones a reality. It was the blueprint for a cellular phone network, but the tech didn't exist to support such a system. 2 decades later, that was all changing. The early 70s, and Bell Labs was still working on cellular tech, but was still focused on putting phones in cars. Ultimately, it was Motorola who captured the public's imagination, in 1973 demonstrating an entirely untethered phone. The first cell phone, the Dynatac 8000X, hit shelves a decade later, weighing 2.5 pounds with 20 minutes of battery life and costing around $10,000 in today's money.
It wasn't pretty, but Motorola's breakthrough sparked a global obsession with mobile telephones.
The next 2 decades saw mobile marvels get more powerful, more affordable and more miniature, while the telegram got a kind of mobile rebirth in the form of a text message. By 1998, there were nearly 70 million US mobile subscribers, a figure that would double just 4 years later.
At this time, Bluetooth, 3G, colour screens and cameras were making our mobiles truly multifunctional. As the power of these devices grew in line with their popularity, the next step forward in telephony was only a matter of time.
And we are calling it iPhone.
It's ironic that as today's touchscreen 4G-capable phones get more advanced, we use them less and less for the actual transmission of our voices, the original problem that so many great minds grappled with nearly 150 years ago. But in another way, modern mobiles are fulfilling the telephonic promise like never before, giving humans more tools to communicate with and understand each other, regardless of whereabouts on the planet they are.
That's all for now, but for much more, do check out
Sorry, he means don't forget to check out cnet.
inventor and engineer who is famous for his development of the telephone. Bell was born in 1847 in Edinburgh, Scotland, and showed a natural curiosity at an early age, inventing a wheat husking machine at the age of 12 to help his neighbour's flour milling business. Bell's mother began to go deaf shortly after his 12th birthday, so he helped her to construct a basic finger sign language, and this led to him studying and teaching elocution and speech mechanics at the age of 16 in Scotland. In 1870, Bell and his family emigrated to Canada, and later Bell founded a school in Boston which trained teachers of deaf students. The school was taken up as part of the University of Boston, and Bell became professor of vocal physiology and elocution. In 1874, Bell began experimenting with the phonautograph, which drew the shapes of sound waves based on the vibrations they made. This led to investments from two wealthy patrons who were looking at sending multiple telegraph messages on the same line. This enabled him to develop his acoustic telephone, and he applied for a patent in 1875, which was granted in 1876. This was controversial, as another inventor, Elisha Gray, also developed a telephone prototype at the same time, and the actual inventor of the telephone is still in question, although Bell is credited with the invention. Despite this, the technology developed and Bell demonstrated his invention in 1876, and the Bell Company was founded in 1877, and in under a decade 150,000 people owned telephones. He then founded his Volta laboratory, where he continued his telecommunication experiments and teaching techniques. He also worked on early theories of magnetic recording, the basic theory behind cassette tapes, floppy disks, and hard disks. He also invented the metal detector and was one of the founding members of the National Geographic Society. He considered his invention of the telephone as a blight on his scientific career and actually refused to have a telephone in his own house.